Hey everyone, today we're going to cover the toggle in Unity. Now what is the toggle? Well, the toggle is a UI element that can be interacted with to give a boolean output. So for example, when it's clicked once, it will be toggled to true, and when it's clicked again, it will be toggled to false. So it's a really simple concept. You see it a lot in like websites and games where you have, say, graphics qualities. So you might have a high quality, medium quality, low quality graphics setting. And if you tick one, it will change the quality of the game. So let's get into it. So first of all, I'm going to go up to the hierarchy and right click. Under UI, I'm going to add a toggle. As you can see, we get a little arrow here because the toggle has children that come with it. If we open these up, let's quickly break down what the toggle consists of. So it consists of a background, which consists of a check mark, and it also has a label. Now the label is irrelevant, you don't need the label, this is just the text that comes next to it. We could delete this and it wouldn't actually affect the toggle at all. But if I change this to toggle 1, because I'm going to add another toggle later, and as you can see with the background, maybe if I make this text a bit easier to see, and the background is just the image of the background of the toggle, so that is this bit here, this little like box. And the check mark is what we see as the tick in the box. Now you can set this as the image of anything you want. You can change these two images. I'm just going to leave them as they are, but if you want other images, go ahead. Now I'm going to go up to the toggle and let's have a look at the components of the toggle. Now you will see we have transitions here. So we have none, color tint, sprite swap, and animation. None is obviously will have no transition. If you tick it, the tick will appear. All is good, no extra effects. If you have color tint, if you hover over it, you'll have a different color. If you have it selected, it will be a different color. So as you can see, your normal color is the color of the background here, so I can make that white. The highlighted color is the color it goes when your mouse cursor hovers over it. The pressed color is the color that it goes for, it like flashes when you click the button, and then when you release the button it will go to the selected color. And the disabled color is the color that appears when the toggle is disabled. So if I click play and just show you quickly, you'll see as I hover over it, I don't know if you can see it very easily here, let me zoom in on the scale. You'll see it does very slightly go a different color. Let me make it a bit easier to see. There you go. So as I highlight it, it goes darker. If I make it like a bit red when I press it, so the press color like flashes red, and then the tick disappears. And if I made the selected color dark red, you'll see it sort of flashes light red, then goes dark red. So that is the selected color, and the disabled color I'm not going to play around with. That's just the color it is when it's disabled. The fade duration, that is the duration of the fade of the color. So once again, let me go over here. You'll see as we tick it, there is a fade there. If I make that maybe a second, make it half a second, it'll be a bit easier to see. See, as we click it, it's a bit hard to see with these colours. If I make that red, there we go. I had to click into the screen. You see, the fade is a lot more gradual. It takes half a second to fade. Next we have sprite swap. Now sprite swap's easy, I won't go over this. It is basically where the sprite is adjusted whenever the toggle is clicked. So you can get your highlighted sprite, a pressed sprite. So if we made the highlighted sprite like this one, the circle or the knob, whenever we highlight it, it's going to change to a circle like that. Very self-explanatory. And the animation, this is where an animation is played whenever it's clicked or highlighted. I won't be covering animations in this series as I want it to be just about user interface, and I want to sort of keep it simple. But if you would like to see a video or multiple videos on animation, let me know in the comments and I'll add it to my video ideas and see what we can do. But let's move on for now. So I'm going to leave that at color tint. Now let's have a look down at the more interesting stuff. So we have the IsOn. Now this is the boolean state of the toggle. So if I start that off, it will start being toggled off. If I have that as on, it will be toggled on. That is simple. You can also use IsOn in code to know whether or not it's on or off when you're creating a program. I'll show you an example at the end of the video. let's go on to graphic. So graphic is the image component of the checkmark object. So we'll just drag this checkmark object down to the graphic. And the group, this is the toggle group the objects are part of. Now we're going to quickly cover toggle groups because they're not that confusing, they're quite useful. So if I right click this toggle and click create empty parent, I'll just call this toggle group. And what I'm going to do is add a component to this called the toggle group. And now you see we've got this toggle. If we duplicate it, maybe drag it down to the middle, I'll make this label say toggle 2. And if I have another one, I'll just do 3 toggles. Just make it nice and easy. Toggle 3. Let me turn 2 of the toggles off. So toggle 1 and 2, I'll just turn these ones off. Just so they're already off to begin with. I don't know why one of them's still on. I don't know what's happened there. Now if we go on to all 3 of these toggles and drag this toggle group parent into their group, make sure that's applied to all of them, which it has. Now if we hit play, what toggle group does is it makes these 3 toggles part of one group. So at least one toggle always, or one toggle always has to be selected at a time. You can't have more than one, you can't have less than one. So if I, like say I have toggle 2 on, then I want to change the toggle 1, it's going to disable toggle 2 before it turns on toggle 1. And this is really useful for those things like low, medium, high graphic settings, things like that. It's a really useful feature Unity's got built in, and I'd make the most of it. To be honest, if you're going to be working with settings, like lots of settings, toggles, make the most of toggle groups because they're very useful. They also have an allow switch off setting, which if you turn that on, what that does is it allows you to have 0 toggles on, so I can turn all toggles off if I want. If you have that turned off, then one toggle will always be on at a time, as you'll see now. I can't turn this one off no matter how much I try. So toggle groups are really, really useful. Anyway, back to the toggle. I'm just going to delete those now. I'll keep the toggle group just because I can't really be bothered to delete it. But I'll keep our original little toggle here. Okay, now one thing left is OnValueChanged. Now, this is where you can assign an event whenever the state of the Boolean value is changed. So if we click add, you get all sorts of little cool things here, and it's not actually that confusing. Just going to leave this in runtime only. I'm not going to play around with editor and runtime. Just leave it at runtime only. So now I'm going to show this example. So in the assets, I'm going to create a C# script. I would just call this example toggle, and I'll just make it output on and off whenever the toggle's pressed. Okay, so I'm going to clear the start and update method and just create a public bool. We don't even need to return anything. I can make this a void. Public void toggle. I'll call this. So I will need to get the toggle, so I'll create a serialized field. I call this. So this will be a toggle. Let me add the Unity UI namespace, Unity Engine .ui. Get that namespace in there. Then we can add a toggle, and I'll just call this toggle object. And now in this public void toggle, what I can say is if I want to get the state of the toggle, I can say state, no, not state machine behavior, I just want a variable called state. So var state equals, this will be a boolean actually, a bool. This is going to equal toggle object dot is on. And what this will do is, if is on, as we remember, is our little check mark here, so this is true at the minute. When it's turned off, it's false. I don't know why we can't turn it off because of the toggle group. Fair enough. I'm going to remove the toggle group now, so I can turn it off. And then what we can say is state, if state, actually I can just print state, so it will give me a true or a false. There we go. Now if I save this script, head back into Unity once it's compiled, and create an empty game object with our example toggle script. So let's drag our script onto this empty game object, because scripts always have to be in the workspace. They can't just be in the assets folder because they're not going to do anything there. You actually have to have them applying to objects, because this is an object-oriented language, an object-oriented game engine. So you have to have these scripts applied to an object. Now what we can do is our toggle object is this toggle here. And now if we go onto our toggle, on our OnValueChanged, we can drag our example toggle script object into here, and under no function, under example toggle, you're going to see our toggle method that we've created. It's in runtime only, so it's not going to do much. So now if we run the program, let me clear the console quickly because I just test it. There we go. Now if we turn this off, it says false, on it says true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true, so on. And there we go, that is literally it. That's a little example on how you can actually access this in script and use this. But toggles, they are very useful. They will come in handy in your project. This is probably the first thing we've covered that is a big game changer in terms of what you can do. Obviously text, yeah, it's pretty big, images, things like that, but this is the first big functionality that is a bit of a game changer. So that is it for this video, everyone. I hope you did find it helpful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It does help us out. Thanks for watching. I think in the next video we might cover sliders. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think we'll cover a slider in the next video. It makes sense to start going down now. So yeah, we'll cover sliders in the next video. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching and goodbye.